Good evening once again. It's Friday evening, and I'm here, your host Manzoor Nadir on MTV with Hold No Bars. This has been a very short week as we've had the long holiday weekend, the Easter holiday weekend, Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Easter Monday. To all of you who have had a very great and enjoyable time with your family and friends, flying kite throughout the country. Keep enjoying it. A short week. Easter Monday was great. Regatta, I understand, was excellent, and the rodeo we've had a good weekend, and now it's back to the grind. But outside of the fun and the happiness and the family and the fellowship over the last weekend, this weekend we've seen some interesting developments. President Granger, His Excellency President Granger, has made some changes to the ministers, those who have had dual citizenship, like Dr. Rup Narain, Dominic Gaskin, the president's son-in-law, um, Carl Greenwich, Joe Harmon. They have all tendered their resignation, and as of April 25th, which was yesterday, they ceased becoming a minister. New appointments, well, congratulations to those new ministers. The Honorable Hali from Berbice, the Honorable Rajkumar from Essequibo, and congratulations to Joseph Harmon, who has a very big job now. He is no longer Minister of State in the Ministry of the Presidency. I understand he's Director General, which is like the Chief Operating Officer of the Ministry of the Presidency. In fact, he's the Chief Operating Officer of Guyana. He's always been a powerful man as Minister of State. So what we've seen is Don Hastings Williams being given the portfolio of Minister of State. We've seen the two of the three embattled ministers, and I say embattled because they've had a lot of controversy around them. Two of the three, we've had Minister Cathy Hughes, Minister Valerie Adams Hayward, and Minister Brooms. Well, two of them have been shifted. Minister Brooms goes over to the Ministry of the Presidency as Minister of Youth Affairs. Minister Valerie Adams is moved to the Ministry of Agriculture as the minister responsible for rural affairs. And we've seen the shift of Minister Annette Ferguson from being the Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. She has now gone over to the Ministry of Communities at the Department of Housing. Those are the significant changes over the weekend. So tonight you're going to get a chance. Hold no bars. Don't let's break any legal rules, and give your comments on these changes. The changes that have been effective as of today, because we saw the members of parliament being sworn in. Miss Hali coming from the AFC, Mr. Rajkumar from the AFC. Miss Hali coming from the WPA, replacing Dr. Rup Narain, and the Mr. Rajkumar replacing Dominic Gaskin from the Alliance for Change. And there has been a lot of buzz around, persons saying, yes, it's a cosmetic change, that too much has passed. What you can't do in 4 years, you're going to do in 4 months. But let's hear your views. Hold No Bars is a program for you to weigh in with your views on the issues of today. All the way from England, and I am sure that the persons, they catch the program live, and some of them look at the YouTube recordings of the program. One person said, put at the back of this screen here of my television, my computer, at the back of my computer, turn down your television or I'll cut you off, because the feedback is annoying to listeners. So those of you who keep your television up when you're calling it, turn it down, because from next week you'll see, turn down your TV or I'll cut you off, because it's annoying another person. So let's hear from you about these changes. And then we see the issue of corruption. Remember last week we said that though there are so many defenses, every week it seems to be a new scandal. Well, it was yesterday that even more contracts came out being awarded to the firm which Minister Cathy Hughes has an ownership interest in spite of the fact that she is saying that she is not involved in the day-to-day running. The firm has been published that the firm has had a number of contracts from several departments and ministries of the government. So is that a conflict of interest, and is that any other form of other activities that might not be so healthy? But of the three ministers that had issues, that is Valerie Adams with her husband and getting contracts from, she's been moved to the Ministry of the Presidency. Minister Brooms has always been a bit controversial. She has moved from natural resources and she's gone into the Ministry of the Presidency. So what has happened with these two moves is that these ministers who have had public challenges to how they perform in office and how they run their offices have been moved under the wings of the Ministry of the Presidency. But is that a form of controlling, ensuring that, while at the same time not throwing them away? So the lines are opening and they are going now, so let's take the first caller. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. You're on the air.
Good evening. I'm a concerned citizen. And to be honest with you, the PPP government had 23 years, 6 months, 5 days, and 2 years. 2 hours, sorry. They did some stuff, yes. But look at what this government has done within 4 years, let's say. And now y'all are trying to say that they are corrupt, no confidence, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order for us to move forward, we need to put aside this political attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about this political pulling and tugging. Stand together as one, in unity, one to another, and see a better Guyana. Thank you.
Okay, one view. A comment on that view is that wrong is wrong. 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if I did it and it was wrong, it can't be right for another person to do the same thing, right? That's just my comment with respect to that last caller. But I haven't been privy to all of what has been happening, but we do have a Parliament meeting today. The PPPC did not attend Parliament, and we are going to be waiting until we hear from the Caribbean Court of Justice. That's another development that happened over the last couple of days. The Caribbean Court of Justice now will hear the submissions over 2 days, the 9th and the 10th, with respect to the arguments. So both sides will have more time to present their arguments. And while our people want to see unity and coming together, all that is good, at the same time, you can't embrace what's good by embracing wrongdoing. So let's be very careful about how we talk about some of these issues. So tonight, let's hear your views on hold no bars. And again, to all of you who have been texting from Cayenne, Suriname, the United Kingdom, North America, and all over our country, please, let's have your views. Whilst a lot of these comments are not on the air, it's good to get the feedback. The feedback is good for two reasons. One, we know that you're involved, engaged, and you're concerned. And secondly, it helps us to make the program better. We're not here to stifle people's opinion. You get a chance to speak, but at the same time, right, other people will have different views. So if we could cut out the calling of name and the using of indecent language on the TV, when you call in, it'll be really a good program. But tonight, let's get your views on the changes that have been announced. And some people said the changes are just reshuffling people who need not be there, ought not to be there, should not be there. And shuffling them around don't make things better, right? So, President Granger, while you have looked at the field, and in the past, we used to see Ministry of Public Infrastructure and Ministry of Public Health and Ministry of Public Communications. Now, these new ministers, one person said to me that you're hearing youth affairs, rural affairs. What is happening? And let's get your views on Hold No Bars tonight, Friday, April 26th. Next week is going to be Arrival Day on the 5th of May. Before Arrival Day, we have another holiday coming up, and it's a holiday when we reflect on Labor Day, May 1. So we'll have Monday and Tuesday back to work, Wednesday holiday, Thursday, Friday back to work, and for some people Saturday, and then we will have Arrival Day and the Monday after Arrival Day. So we have quite a bit. What's your views on the cabinet changes? I don't want to say reshuffle because we did have changes. The ministers, Minister Gaskin, Minister of Business, has resigned and been replaced. Dr. Rupnarain, Minister of the Public Service in the Ministry of the Presidency, has resigned and has been replaced. Minister Harman, Minister of State in the Ministry of the Presidency, has resigned and has been replaced. Minister Carl Greenwich, Minister of Foreign Affairs, has resigned but has not been replaced as yet. And we've seen some shifting around, welcoming the new ministers from the WPA, Minister Halley, who takes over in the ministry, Minister Halley, who takes over in the Ministry of the Presidency as Minister of the Public Service, and you have Minister Annette Ferguson, who has gone over to the Ministry of Communities, the Department of Housing, and you've had Minister Brooms has been moved over to the Ministry of the Presidency as the Minister in charge of youth affairs. Then, as I was coming to the show, I stayed back a bit. The National Assembly has just honored, well, I shouldn't say just this afternoon, honored convicted terrorist Abdul Qadir. Yes, he served as member of parliament and was a citizen of good repute in Linden, served in the National Assembly, was convicted of a plot and died in a U.S. prison. And Guyana Parliament has this afternoon hailed the former member of Parliament Abdul Kadir for dedicated service as a lawmaker in Guyana. So there was an issue when Minister Manik Chan, then Minister Manik Chan, Minister of Education, was delivering on behalf of the President Ramatar, the 4th of July message at the American Ambassador home, and she spoke, hold no bars, and then there was big condemnation. I wonder how things will be taken tonight as the news emerged that a convicted terrorist has been honored by the National Assembly. Yes, some people's terrorists become some people freedom fighters. Sorry, the cause. My phone was on silent. And is that the same thing in this case? But our National Assembly has hailed the contribution of the former member of parliament from the People's National Congress Reform, Abdul Kadir, as a dedicated lawmaker to Guyana. What's your views? Hold no bars. These are some of the topical issues for this week. These are some of the issues that seems to put us as going one step forward and two step backwards. These are some of the issues which, like the first caller said, would continue to give us reservations with respect to hugging up everybody and moving forward, because there will still be doubts and there are still be challenges to some of these good service as we are hearing. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, all I want to say, I just work in unity, man.
Go ahead.
Just work in unity and get the country forward, man.
Yeah, man.
Pretty sad.
Yes, that's what we do, and what we have is we have to get, while we all will work to move the country forward, you can't carry all the mangoes in the same basket, right? So you have to do some sorting, So it's all well and good to say let's move the country forward, but at the same time, we have to make some changes. We have to move forward in a particular way with a particular set of people. And that's why people want elections. They want a voice. That's why people want to be able to say, yeah, I agree with that. Mr. Kadir did make a contribution, but I can't agree with him tarnishing the image of the entire country by trying to blow up John F. Kennedy Airport. Right? And so, Jim Jones. Let's look at Jim Jones. Jim Jones, a preacher, led his flock out to California, brought them to Guyana, built a church that many persons lavish praise on. And many persons not only lavish praise on, many persons gave all of their property to strengthen that church. And Jim Jones came, was supported, all good intentions, and went and set up in just outside Port Kaituma. And what happened? Then people didn't have, and this is the important thing, people didn't have the free will to come and go. And that, for me, is even more important. Person's free will, rather than trying to bind people together with false ropes of unity, giving people free will. That's why we call this program Hold No Bars. You're free to talk. So he came, 900 odd persons were killed or committed suicide. And Guyana was on the map for the wrong reason. For the wrong reason. Started out great intentions, great church. And then Jim Jones committed this dastardly act. Tonight, our National Assembly hailed the dedicated service of Abdul Qadir. Okay? Dedicated service of Abdul Qadir. Was a lawmaker. As far as my involvement with Abdul Qadir, the late Abdul Qadir, was pretty good. But can we now take this one incident and say, let's forget that. Forget of this terrorist plot to blow up John F. Kennedy Airport, and forget about that? So on the one hand, we can't forget about what Priya Manikchand said in the residence of the American ambassador how many years ago. On the other hand, we totally condemn Jim Jones, who by all intents and purposes had one major fault. He enticed persons to commit suicide, and who didn't want to do that, he killed, and then killed himself. So can we say this is a person who has dedicated himself to God, to church, to Christianity? Right? Osama bin Laden. The world rejoiced when he was killed. Killed as a terrorist. I'm sure there were groups, and there are groups that hail Osama bin Laden, not as a terrorist. But I don't see Saudi Arabia, Syria, Egypt, Jordan, Iran, Iraq passing resolutions in their highest decision-making body saying that Osama bin Laden is a national hero or is being honored with a special place in the country as providing dedicated and committed in an enlightening service to those countries or the people of those countries. So this is going to be interesting to see how and what is the fallout from the National Assembly hailing Abdul Qadir, the former member of parliament. And we have a couple of messages on the WhatsApp here. Good program, Mr. Nadir. Let's hear a bit more from the callers. Yes, the lines are open. Let me just check them. Right, and the telephone. Okay, the telephone battery was low, so I didn't get some of those calls. But all the lines are open. The numbers are on your screen. We can take WhatsApp messages at 6819312 plus calls on all of the numbers that you have there, right? Hold no bars. Tonight, your comments on the cabinet changes by His Excellency President David Granger. Your comments on the honoring of Abdul Qadir, a person convicted of terrorism and dying in the United States prison as providing dedicated services to this country. Good. So these are some of the latest developments that we've had. Are the changes which have been made by President Granger, are they cosmetic changes, or are they vote-getting changes, or are they genuine changes in order to bring his government closer to the people and in service to the people? Go ahead. Hold no bars. You're on the air.
Hello, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
It doesn't make no difference to the government. All this workmanship do them. It makes no difference.
Okay. Okay, so makes no difference with all the changes. So, yes, that the cause seems to be now coming true, and that cell phone is now back to 1 bar. Good. So I was speaking about what makes a person deserving of being appointed as a president, as a minister. What makes a person deserving to be honored by the National Assembly. So, no matter what we say one person said, there will be no changes. I had an interesting conversation today. I was in All Boys Song just after a service, and I stopped by a good friend for a number of years. As I was in the community, I said, let me stop. Ah, shucks, I just cut you off. This caller, let me call the person back. I accidentally cut you off. Okay, so that person, I cut off. Good. I called back, they didn't answer. Yes, so where are we? We're talking about what makes a person deserving of honor, what makes a person move from hero to bad, what makes a person move from bad to hero. And yes, we could be accused of a number of things. You know, we had the issue of one person who wreaked havoc and caused a lot of terror, responsible for fear in our society, was killed not too far from here. Yeah. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars.
Good night, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
After Kabir commit an offense on Guyana's side, Raja Kandi, Nigeria after she.
Okay, good. So, it's the person says that if you committed something on this side, then you could be condemned. But if you commit it outside, but a lot of countries these days are, and the world as a whole, holding you accountable for things done inside and outside of the country of your origin. And that is why we have a lot of persons who are in these wars of genocide are being tried. You know, after World War II. After World War II, a lot of the Nazis were tried outside of Germany. And this was a war, right? This was a war, and there were atrocities committed, and a special tribunal was set up, and many of these persons, these soldiers, were tried and convicted. So it's a different standard. It's a different standard, not just within your borders alone. Rwanda, 6 million people died in an ethnic war in Rwanda, and persons were held accountable by institutions outside of Rwanda. Yeah, outside of Rwanda. In England, where we take a lot of our cues from, right? Where we take our cues from, you could be convicted in England for crimes you did outside of England. Yeah, you could be convicted. So there's a different standard, applying today. During, and our President, His Excellency David Granger, is a historian. He knows this better than I do. People say Genghis Khan, one set of people say Genghis Khan was a barbarian, uncivilized. But all the Mongols that he united think differently. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold on,
Hello,
Bart.
Mr. Nadir, what's up? Good night.
Good evening, sir.
You know something? I listened to your program and that. But you know what has made me upset about the program?
Tell me.
Why we as Chinese, why we don't say the right
If you turn down your television a bit, I'll turn up your volume, right? Because I'm getting a little feedback, right? Go ahead.
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's a feedback. I was hearing you, but
Hi, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead. You're on
I'm
the...
calling from Moko, man.
Go ahead, Marco.
You know something that really that really getting me upset right now with your programs and things. Why is it that Chinese of Eastern descendants, why they're not going to accept, man, that it's 20-something years Barajabi was there, and so many Chinese of Indian African descendants died. There was no investigation. We all know that what happened in the countries in this country. We know the country was in a serious crisis. Now this country is making a turnaround. Why is we still trying to condemn this government who is there, is trying to do the best to get this country back together? Look at the no confidence. We all know it wasn't a conscious vote. We know what happened. Why you want to take a government out of power who is illegally elected? Who is illegally elected? And you know that it penetrates what the PPP have done to this country, the atrocities they have carried on. Was there. Nobody come out. All the things that happened to Afro-Guyanese, people went down on their knees, that we went down and crying for the children, cannot be found, was killed, and nobody, no Guyanese of Indian descent, never really come out in protest. Come on, man, we gotta get our act together, man. This is our country. Don't mind if Indian or black. We gotta understand that we gotta live together. And if wrong is wrong is wrong, and we know what the people have done 23 years. Why is we still trying to uphold them? We know what they have done 23 years. As I have to say, man.
Are you of what ethnic group you consider yourself from?
I'm a Guyanese of African descendants. I'm not African.
Okay.
I'm a Guyanese African descendant.
Right.
I never born in Africa.
Yeah.
I'm a Guyanese. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And you the Guyanese of Indian descent. You're not an Indian.
Right.
You're the Guyanese of Indian descent.
Good.
You got me off?
No, I'm not. I'm going to take another call.
My son and my grandchildren in school.
Yeah.
Right? And I got a test. And a question asks you, are you Guyanese? Are you African?
Yeah.
And the African, they know what happened, they're going to fail. And now I'm a Guyanese or African descendant. You are Guyanese of Indian descendant.
Right.
We have to live on Guyanese.
Okay.
Wrong is wrong. But what the people have done in 3 years, they have destroyed the moral fabric of this old society. And they're trying to get power through the back door by trying to get Charandas, Prasad. Damn, we know that. But we don't find that
No,
out.
we don't know that, Chief.
Yeah, we don't find that. You know that. Don't come on, Mr.
Right.
You know that.
Give me a chance now to make, 90% of your comments, I totally agree with. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. But you start off on the wrong foot.
Who started on the wrong foot?
You, hold on. You start off by saying that why you Guyanese of Indian descent. So you started with that.
No, I'm right.
Well, thank you very much. I have to take a few more calls, but you are right, and everyone has a right to their opinion. Go ahead. Hold no bars. You're on the air. Go ahead. Good evening.
Yeah. This farmer they call it I just called. He's a racist. He's talking about Afro-Indo-Guyanese. I don't know about Afro-Indo-Guyanese. I know about Guyanese. And I don't
You got to
really
turn
know-
down. You got to turn down the TV because I have it's giving me a feedback here, right? Good.
Okay. Yeah, he's talking about Indian descent.
Mm-hmm.
This is Guyanese. This is about Guyana. And when he's talking about a legal government, they were no confidence. They were hit by a no confidence motion, which is in the CCJ.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So
Let
I
me
don't know
take.
what he's talking about. This thing is talking about legal government and stuff like that. I don't know about the legal government. Have a good night, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so. Hi, good evening. You're on the way here. Hold no bars. Go ahead. Okay, just cut that person off accidentally. Hi, good evening. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
I don't agree with that.
Which one?
The caller spoke of African descent
Aha.
because I'm Guyanese.
Okay.
I am African descent,
Mm-hmm.
and I met a lot of wonderful, incredible East Indian people
Mm-hmm.
that did not agree with what was happening around Guyana,
Mm-hmm.
and they did not support race, but they supported humanity. And I think what happened around Guyana is happening globally. If we check Trinidad, if we
Mm-hmm.
check Barbados, if we check America, it is happening globally. So I would never want people to discover who I am, presently calling to make this comment.
Okay.
I do not agree with that
Thanks a lot.
statement.
Let me take a few more calls, right?
Oh, 1 second, Mr. Nash.
Sure, go ahead.
I do not agree
Go ahead.
with this statement that he's making because it can cause further division in our country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I'm African descent,
Mm-hmm.
Negro person. My relatives are Negro people, but I'm not supporting any wrongdoing if he thinks that something was being done wrong by the previous administration, which I don't agree. I'm going to state it clearly that it is happening globally. So I want to encourage us to pray for each other.
Thank
In
you.
the name of Jesus, and encourage each other and love each other as brothers and sisters under one God. Whether if she is Indian or he is Indian, we need to support each
Okay.
other. Whether he's Negro.
I'll say Amen and amen to that. Right? Thank you. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, good night, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
I want to know these people call themselves African Guyanese, right?
Go ahead.
And they're complaining about how many African Guyanese died
Mm-hmm.
under the PPP government in
Mhm.
23 years. But how are they not recognizing how many Indian people died
Mm-hmm.
with the jailbreak, the 5 escape from the jail? How many Indian people they killed?
Okay, Paul. Thanks a lot.
Everybody spoke,
Take
about
it.
that.
Thank you.
They killed a little girl in college in
Mm-hmm.
Christina Sucro. You never hear people talk about the Indians that died. They're not complaining about the hundreds of Indians that died. My cousin died at Natu's bar, pet by Rupa. You hear people talking about the Indians that died.
Thank you.
Who killed these Indians?
Okay, let's get a few more calls. My sympathies too. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good night.
Good evening.
You know, surprised me that this government will support career.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Blackie? That black money coming back to be a minister or something.
Mm-hmm.
This government they always support criminality.
Okay.
Ever.
Thanks a lot. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hello. I'm back again.
Okay, here. Turn down the TV volume, right?
All right.
Good.
Hello.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to explain,
Yes.
this is not a racial issue.
Mhm.
This is an issue of reality.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying again, that Guyanese of Indian descendants, listen to the statement.
Mm-hmm.
We are descendants. You are not an Indian. You never born in India.
Okay, but you got to bring something new to the conversation.
I'm a Guyanese of African descendant.
Yeah, you're repeating.
And I'm making a statement clear.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this, and I'm going straight up.
Good.
Like, under the PPP government, for 23 years, a lot of guys African descendants, we were killed by the same government who's in power, and they never had no investigation who died.
Mm-hmm.
No, and now this government is trying to get things in place.
Okay.
But Guyanese to get it.
Well, thanks a lot. You said that already, and you're repeating that. I don't think people are hard of hearing. Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Nadir. I find your program very interesting. I'm glad really and truly that I'm not here to talk about race, even though I'm Afro-Guyanese. I think that's the last thing we need in Guyana. The last thing we need in Guyana is Indian and black. People are people. People could be wicked whether they're Indian or black. Exactly. And people can be good whether Indian or black.
I'm
to do with race.
Thank you.
Wicked people are good divide.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Quite well. And yourself?
And I am okay. I can't understand why people keep saying that the PPP is trying to come through the back door and all kind of thing when local government election speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Local government election is saying to the government that we don't want you anymore. You're not fit to run the country.
Excellent point. Thank you. Hi, good. Okay. I'm trying to take, we have 10 minutes remaining on the program. I'm going to try to take as many calls as I can, right? So let us not repeat, make the point, and I will interrupt. Go ahead. Whatever your views are. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, good night.
Good
I
evening.
think people should live in union. Beginning from the two main parties,
Mm-hmm.
PNC and the PPP, they need to come together and live in love. Don't worry with this barrier, with who power, who this, who that. And this country gonna go.
Thank you.
The ones
Go ahead.
the ones at the bottom see that the top is living right and doing the right thing, they will follow. Yeah, let's live in love.
Thank you,
And
sweetheart.
God willing to bless this nation.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Go ahead, caller on the air, on the line. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay. I just want to say that they get a few people doing a commercial about the ethnic relation.
Yeah.
They will say that, well.
ERC.
But I want to say for the ethnic relation, what they're doing is not fair.
Mhm.
That people should be treated equal. And if people have equal treatment in this country, that would remove the racialness in this country. Thank you very much.
Excellent point. Great. So, keep the calls coming. Let this be your program. I can't take all the calls as they are coming through, and so we're going to have to be a bit patient. One person said to me,
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
We have some points concerning the government, the previous government, and the present government. One of the things that I would like to ask you, theory. I'm not denying that there are things that this government is doing that people are not pleased with. But could you say for the years that you were in the previous administration that there were things that were done that weren't right and you never spoke out against it?
Okay, we're going to answer that. Let me take the calls coming through. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars.
Good evening to you, Mr. Nadir, and to the rest of Guyana.
Thank you.
Guyanese,
Good evening.
please, I'm speaking to Guyanese.
Go ahead.
Please stop this nonsense whether you're calling for Mr. Nadir program or the man who program, and stop talking about Indian and African Guyanese, and they say we all are Guyanese, we gotta live in love and unity, and let us all deal with the issues. That is what is basic, we gotta deal with the issue. Whether it's right or wrong, the topic must be the issues, not the race. So God bless us all. We're getting there. Mr. Nadir, you continue with the program. God bless you.
You too. Thank you. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. You're on the air. Okay, I got you a bit low, so let me cut you off. Go ahead. You're on now. Go ahead. I'm listening. Okay, that. Sorry. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. You're on the air.
Good night, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
How you doing, man?
I can't complain. Yourself?
What we need in this country now that the Constitution must be revised.
Mm-hmm.
To state that the people in this country are the wealth of this country belongs to the people
Mm-hmm.
and not to the politicians.
Okay.
And the wealth should be distributed equally among the people in this country. But that is not happening now.
Good. Thanks a lot. Good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Nazi. I am not a PPP, right? But I want to reconsider supporting the PPP because the APNU disappoint us. I have a lot of Indian friends that appreciate me and show me plenty love. So this is nothing about race, and I'm of African descent.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Granger and his party have promised us so much, and then they rip our hearts apart. First thing they did is cut the school children's money, the $10,000. Secondly, they take away that $20,000 subsidy. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but from the pensioners that have to pay electricity bill at GPL. You remember that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to talk. I want you to talk about it and let me hear more about it. Right? They cut that. They promise us when they get into power, public servants will get at least the minimum $100,000. On to this day, public servants is still getting a small percentage of increase after 3 years. I'm talking about the common man. And they had promoted themselves in terms of their salary.
Okay. Wind down for me because I want to take about 4 more callers in the next 5 minutes.
Right, and he disappointed us. So right now it's not about race and who is right or who is wrong, but looking at how things went from back then, we may look at the environment and how it used to run, and we might try to blame politics and the politicians, but we have to look on our progress and who will sustain our economy.
Let me cut you there, right? Hi, good evening. I got to take a few more callers because the time is running down, right? So let's make it short and sweet. They say it KISS. Keep it short and simple. All right? So we've had a very... Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hello, you sir. What I'm really
Turn on the TV a bit. Turn down the TV.
What I'm talking about is
Yeah, if you turn down the TV, I will turn up back your volume.
yeah.
Good. I'm hearing you, but it's the feedback, man.
Let me turn on.
Got you. Go ahead.
Hear me out?
I'll take you as the last caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is this, right? I heard a lot of comments concerning race and whatever. But we have an opposition leader who goes on the TV and bombays kind of African descent, use a lot of racial.
Okay, so I don't agree with you. I have worked with President Jagdeo for a number of years and still support and work with him, and I haven't ever seen or heard him use racial comments against people of African descent, Guyanese of African descent. Good? He talks about bad politicians. John F. Kennedy did. I said it over and over again. The good people who don't get involved and stay at home elect the bad politicians, paraphrasing John F. Kennedy. We're winding down. It's just about 90 seconds. Operator holding up a card, say 90 seconds. It's been another healthy evening with Hold No Bars. Two things we're going to do. We're going to put at the back of this, turn your TV down, or I wouldn't take your call, I'll cut you off. And secondly, say what you want to say. If you're inaccurate, if you're slanderous, definitely I'm going to have to cut you off. But if you're inaccurate, I'll also correct you. So from all of us, Kevin, the directors of MTV, and all who put together this program, we want to thank you for listening, calling, and sharing your views. And from all of us to you and your family, have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
Embattled Telecommunications Minister dodges questions about how her company reportedly received millions of dollars in government contracts. Opposition leader scolds government of poor management of CGI expansion project. 29-year-old man battling for his life after being stabbed multiple times. And in sport, irresistible Mumbai completed double against Super Kings. These and more coming up after these messages. Stay with us.
At Optic Vision Care, we value the power of your sight. And with our team of eye care professionals, you'll be in good hands. Come experience our comprehensive eye examination using state-of-the-art technology and specialized diagnostic equipment at 4 convenient locations: in Mahaika, Grove, Giftland Mall, and East Street. At Optique, we care. You see. Call us today, 227-7744.
Country Boy and Family Promotion presents Parika Caravan Bike Show 2019 on Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center with over 30 vehicle categories and Journeyman and Bradley Ivelaw on stage. Entertainment by Sliggers Family, TRS, Stereosonic, Foreign Link, and Septuagint Sound. The annual Parika Caravan Bike Show Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center grounds. Sponsored by Mangal & Sons Lumberyard, Ruben Sawmill, Superman Sons Sawmill, Neville & Sons Furniture Store, Excess Bar and Lawn, Slingers 101.1 FM, Platin Battery, distributed by Kirby Motor Spears, and Stack, a man's spear. The annual Parika Caravan Bike Show. Run your system, not your mouth.
Buy Gaffur's standard size aluminum windows and save more than 20% compared to buying custom sizes. On standard PVC sash windows, you'll get a 20% discount. On standard aluminum sash windows, awning windows, casement windows, sliding windows, shop fronts, and showcases, get a 15% discount. Get special discounts on other items manufactured by Gaffur's, such as PVC pipes, 10% discount. Water tanks 200 gallons to 1600 gallons, 12% discount. BRC fabric, 10% discount, whilst chain link fencing has a 15% discount. For your roofing, we now have Aliasing corrugated sheets at special prices, plus a 10% discount and 10% discounts for galvanized purlins too. Our hollow blocks made from sand and sifting in 4 inches and 6 inches, pressure tested to 1800 PSI, now with a 15% discount, while steel rods have a 10% discount. So visit Gaffur's Macdum location or any one of our other 6 locations countrywide for these special offers. Gaffur's, the leaders for quality, service, and price.
Good evening and welcome to this, our Friday, April 26, 2019 edition of News Update. I'm Sandy Ramutar, our top story this evening. Embattled Minister of Public Telecommunications Catherine Hughes is dodging questions about conflict of interest as information of allegations surfaced that her ministry was awarding contracts to a company she owns. More on this report.
The People's Progressive Party yesterday released information which revealed that Minister Cathy Hughes' public relations company, Video Mega Productions, has been benefiting from millions of dollars in government contracts, including from her own ministry. In a statement, the PPP said it has received information that, contrary to the claims made by Minister Cathy Hughes, several contracts were awarded by her own ministry to her company, Video Mega Productions. The party said under Hughes' Ministry of Public Telecommunications, 3 contracts were awarded to Video Mega Productions. The first on June 4, 2018 for the advertisement of vacancies at a cost of $939,738. The second on June 25, 2018 for management of Facebook page costing some $119,670. The third contract from Hughes' ministry to her company was on September 21, 2018 for the CTU ITC Roadshow 2018 valued at a whopping $2.2 million. The party said Video Mega Productions benefited also from another 5 contracts awarded by other ministries. On September 19, 2018, Minister Hughes' company benefited from a $256,500 contract for the Ministry of Public Infrastructure for television advertisements. On September 28, 2018, the Ministry of Business awarded a $198,800 contract for Minister Hughes' company under the heading Video for Caribbean Tourism Diaspora Forum. Over the Ministry of Education uses Video Mega Production on July 12, 2018 received a $1.4 million contract for video production. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Natural Resources on May 25, 2018 awarded Minister Hughes' company a contract for artwork valued at $1.4 million. The other contract was from the Ministry of Public Health on July 27, 2018 for advertisement valued at a whopping $3,592,236. The PPP said it noted that in the space of just about 4 months, Video Mega Production cashed in over $10.3 million. When the news first broke of the minister's company receiving government contracts from the Department of Energy, which many viewed as conflict of interest, she released a statement claiming that she was unaware of any such contracts since she ceded involvement in the day-to-day operations of Video Mega Production. She claimed that she handed over the operations to broadcaster Russell Lancaster and even moved to sue several persons, including a newspaper, over comments about this possible conflict of interest. When confronted outside the National Assembly today with this new information, the minister dodged questions on the issue.
I don't have anything else to add. I don't have anything else to add. I spoke before, and I stand by what I said before, so nothing else to add.
Are you afraid this would affect
Nothing
your
else to add.
as a minister?
Absolutely not. Nothing else to add. I spoke, this is in court. Thank you.
A source close to the minister confirmed that indeed her ministry handed several contracts to her company, but stopped short of saying if the minister influenced the contract. Reporting for MTV News Update, LaShawna Gomes, Cornelius.
Guyana's corruption watchdog has called for the strengthening of the Code of Conduct of Public Officers to state specific steps for those who have private firms. This comes in light of revelations that a sitting minister received millions of dollars in government contracts, even from her own ministry.
With recent revelations that more contracts were awarded to Public Telecommunications Minister Cathy Hughes, Transparency Institute of Guyana Incorporated has called for stricter policies for public officials. According to a statement from the corruption watchdog, the government must establish a clear policy on specific actions that should be taken by ministers and other public officials who have firms that compete for local business. This, the agency said, will enhance attempts to address conflict of interest in government. It also called for the Code of Conduct for public officers to be strengthened as there are no specific penalties for breaches. Specific to Cathy Hughes, TIGI affirmed that she could have refused or relinquished any outside employment, shareholdings, or directorship, or could have sought a guidance from the Integrity Commission on what steps to take, as these are all provided for in the Public Officers Code of Conduct. Godfrey Brooms, MTV News Update.
Opposition leader Bharat Jagdeo has exposed the coalition government's failure for poorly managing the Chadijagan International Airport project, as they were tasked with overseeing 93% of the works.
The Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson has started to shift the blame on the People's Progressive Party for the state of affairs of the Chadijagan International Airport project. However, opposition leader Bharat Jagdeo pointed out it was Patterson that stated only 7% of the work was done when he became a minister in 2015. As such, Jagdeo cancelled his argument that the PPP must be blamed, stating that the coalition must accept their responsibility in government.
And the supervision of 93% of the work, by his own admission, took place under his watch. So any design flaw, any shoddy work, or the redesign of the contract would have had to take place under his watch.
The opposition leader is pleased that the Auditor General intends to audit the project, an investigation that Patterson welcomed.
I'm very pleased that the Auditor General said that there'd be a full value for money audit conducted on the airport.
Jagdeo is convinced that massive discrepancies and corruption will be unearthed. The CJIA expansion and upgrade project, which is pegged at US $150 million, has been ongoing for years, missing several deadlines. Godfrey Brooms, MTV News Update.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, has announced that he will inform the House about the consequences of the December 21 no-confidence motion after the Carbon Court of Justice rules. Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, today reminded the House that a no-confidence motion was validly passed on December 21.
111th sitting of this House on 21st December 2018 declared passed a no-confidence motion which was moved by the opposition. In the interim, between the declaration of the Speaker and the date named for the next sitting, which was the 3rd January 2019, a number of issues arose which, in the opinion of the Speaker, required definitive settlement by a duly constituted and fully mandated body outside of the National Assembly.
But the government, after initially accepting that it was defeated as a result of the passage of the motion, days after claims that 34 votes were required and that one of the members who voted in favour of the motion, Chardas Prasad, was ineligible because he held dual citizenship. The Speaker was then asked to review his decision to validate the motion, but he rejected that request. The government then moved to the High Court to seek redress, but Chief Justice Roxanne George Wilshire upheld the National Assembly's decision. However, on March 22, the appeals court overturned the decision in a 2-1 majority invalidating the motion. The matter is now at the Carbon Court of Justice, which will draw the final conclusion on the appeals in the confidence motion. For this reason, the government will remain in business as usual, without limitations, until the Carbon Court of Justice rules. The Speaker made clear that he will inform the House about the consequences after the appellate court rules. The final decision will determine whether elections will be held this year or until May 2020, when the duration of the government comes to an end. iNews Guyana is reporting that a 29-year-old man of Zealand East Bank, Essequibo, is battling for his life after he was reportedly stabbed to his face under circumstances currently unknown. The website said Ronosti Rodriguez was discovered laying on the roadway in the vicinity of Cinderella Park the evening of Monday last. iNews quoted the man's mother as saying her son went out with several family members at Cinderella Park. However, as the group was about to leave, Rodriguez stayed back to hang with his friend who had just showed up. Sometime later, Singh said a family friend visited her at home, informing that her son was killed. After making contact with the police, the woman rushed to the scene of the crime, where she discovered her son on the roadway with his face badly disfigured. Upon inspection, she realized that her son was still breathing, and as such, he was immediately rushed to the Leonora Cottage Hospital. He was later transferred to the West Lamar Regional Hospital and then to the Church and Public Hospital, where he is said to be in a coma-like state. His mother is pleading for justice to be served. According to iNews, the police have detained the suspect. You're watching MTV's News Update. More news coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Country Boy and Family Promotion presents Parika Karen Bike Show 2019 on Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center with over 30 vehicle categories and Journeyman and Bradley Ivelaw on stage. Entertainment by Sliggers Family, TRS, Sarasonic, Foreign Link, and Septuagint Sound. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center grounds. Sponsored by Mangal & Sons Lumberyard, Ruben Sawmill, Superman Sons Sawmill, Neville & Sons Furniture Store, Excess Bar and Lawn, Slingers 101.1 FM, Platin Battery, distributed by Kirby Motor Spear, and Stack, a man spear. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show. Run your system, not your mouth.
Looking for that outstanding appearance? Check us out at Universal Beauty Salon and Fashion for the best hairstyles, facial, waxing, nail designs, and more. While you're there, be sure to check out our boutique for fashionable men, ladies, and children clothing and footwear in various sizes and colors. We also have in store a variety of costume jewelries. Also, for all types of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages in wholesale and retail quantities, our prices are the best around. We are located at 22 Hink Street, Georgetown. Telephone number 223-4117.
Visit Gaffur's Flatback Department at MacDoom and enjoy massive discounts. Get up to 13% discount on Brahma plywood and a 10% discount on imported plywood such as WBP pine, OES, black film, marine ply, etc. Special prices on Naughty Pine doors. Buy 50 pieces or more and you pay just $7,500 each plus VAT. Now available, treated pine lumber in 1 inch and 2 inch thickness, widths 3 inches to 12 inches, and lengths 10 feet to 20 feet. Also introducing skim dress local hardwood in sizes 2 inches by 4 inches, in lengths 10 feet to 20 feet. We stock only specific lengths, so you save as compared to when you buy random lengths. And you'll get a 10% discount on both pine and local lumber. You'll get discounts on large and small quantities. So visit Gaffur's at MacDoom and ask for Kamla. Telephone 227-1503 or 223-9896 extension 1134. They'll also be available at our 6 locations countrywide. Gaffur's, the leaders for quality, service, and price.
Country Boy and Family Promotion presents Parika Karen Bike Show 2019 on Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center with over 30 vehicle categories and Journeyman and Bradley Ivelaw on stage. Entertainment by Sliggers Family, TRS, Sarasonic, Foreign Link, and Septuagint Sound. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center grounds. Sponsored by Mangal & Sons Lumberyard, Ruben Sawmill, Superman Sons Sawmill, Neville & Sons Furniture Store, Excess Bar and Lawn, Slingers 101.1 FM, Platin Battery, distributed by Kirby Motor Spear, and Stack, a man spear. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show. Run your system, not your mouth.
Welcome back. You're still with MTV's News Update. Opposition leader Mara Jagdu is convinced that the Ghana National Broadcasting Authority is witch-hunting broadcasters that are not peddling the rhetoric of the coalition government. However, chairman of the agency Leslie Sobers labeled these allegations as false.
At his weekly press conference alleged, the Ghana National Broadcasting Authority, GNBA, is targeting media houses that are heavily carrying the content of the opposition, providing no proof of his claim. He went on to allege that freedom of expression is being eroded due to the GNBA, who has been issuing letters for red line infractions.
And it seems as though some media houses are singled out. A series of letters that they have received from the GNBA. And frankly speaking, some of them border on the ridiculous.
However, chairman of the GNBA, Leslie Sobers, rejected Jagdio's statements as false. He affirmed the authority is not targeting any broadcaster that is carrying content of Jagdio. Sobers noted that the GNBA is trying to bring Ghana on par with international standards. Dispelling claims that they are infringing on freedom of expression, he asserted that broadcasters must be more responsible. The chairman made it categorically clear that the authority has not suspended, revoked, or denied anyone a broadcasting license. Godfrey Brooms, MTV News Update.
The opposition party has been meeting with oil experts to ensure Guyanese get the greatest value from the oil and gas industry. They are also championing the call for the Sovereign Wealth Fund to be kept at arm's length from politicians.
Guyana will join the commercial oil-producing countries in the world next year, when millions of barrels will be extracted from the Stabroek Block alone. With the expected influx of revenue from this sector, the opposition party that is convinced they will win the next general elections due next year is planning ahead and has started to meet with oil experts. Opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo noted that his party intends to give Guyanese the greatest value from the industry.
We wanted to get some expertise, because we believe in listening to lots of people, get some people who are experts in this area, how major issues like local content have been addressed in different parts of the world, where it has worked, where it has not worked, and what brings the greatest benefit to Guyanese. That's our primary concern. And similarly, how you address issues like bidding for future contracts, auctioning of future blocks, because we want to move to a transparent system. Nobody should go to the minister directly to get this.
Jagdeo also decried the failure of the government to have a local content policy in place. A local content policy is a useful tool of the government created to compel foreign companies to increase the shares of employment, services, manufacturing provisions, and overall financial value to the local industry value chain. While a final policy has not been enforced, the Department of Energy assured that the local content policy will be in place before commercial oil production begins. Reiterating that oil resources must not be squandered, Jagdeo affirmed that the Sovereign Wealth Fund must be kept far from politicians.
We spoke about the regulatory issues, arm's length from the politician, even the Sovereign Wealth Fund and its management being arm's length from the politician.
The government last year created a natural resources fund for oil revenues, as well as that from the other natural resources sectors. However, the opposition party is not pleased, as they believe the oil money should be separate, as it will be significant. Godfrey Brooms, MTV News Update.
An ex-soldier is now battling for his life in the intensive care unit at the Georgian Public Hospital after he was shot at least 4 times in broad daylight yesterday at Norton Street Lodge, Georgetown. iNews Guyana reported that the 37-year-old man, whose name was given as George, was reportedly shot by 3 men. Based on reports received, the now injured man and one of the gunmen known as Buck had a disagreement over money. The suspect reportedly left the scene and returned with 2 friends, and another heated argument broke out. It was this time the 3 reportedly opened fire on George, after which they escaped. The injured man was picked up and rushed to the Georgian Public Hospital, where he presently remains in a critical condition. The police are presently investigating the matter. We tell you now that 4 new government members of parliament today took the oath of office in the National Assembly, replacing the dual citizen parliamentarians. Here is more. Working People's Alliance Tabitha Sarbo Haley, People's National Congress Mervyn Williams, and Reynard Ward and Donna Matthew from the Alliance for Change were today sworn in as members of Parliament.
Of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Member of the National Assembly without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana,
that I will faithfully execute the office of the Member of the National Assembly.
Of functions of the office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So help me God.
The appointments follow the resignations of Carl Greenwich, Dominic Gaskin, Joseph Harmon, and Dr. Rupert Rupnarine, all dual citizens. This is in adherence with the court's decision that it is unconstitutional for a person holding dual citizenship to be elected as a parliamentarian. Subsequently, the ministerial portfolios were reassigned to Dawn Hastings Williams as Minister of State, parliamentarian Hemraj Ramkumar has been appointed Minister of Business, and Tabitha Sarwo Haley will serve as Minister of Public Service. It is unclear who will take up the responsibilities for foreign affairs. In addition to this, Speaker of the National Assembly Dr. Barton Scotland also announced the resignations from Gail Teixeira, Odinga Lumumba and Adrian Anamaya, all members of the opposition People's Progressive Party. A post-mortem performed on the body of 58-year-old Mohammed Al-Rashid, whose body was retrieved from the Demerara River yesterday, has given the cause of death as drowning and as such ruled out any speculations of foul play. The autopsy was conducted by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh on Friday at the Lenin Hospital Complex, and the body has since been handed over to relatives. The deceased, the security guard of No. 11 Village, West Coast Where Base, is said to have drowned after venturing out into the river in the vicinity of Omai Wharf on Wednesday. It was reported that Al-Rashid, who was guarding some heavy-duty equipment, went to take a bath into the river and never resurfaced. The man reportedly encountered difficulties due to the strong current of the tide. Other employees reportedly saw this and attempted to render assistance, but he went underwater. We now join Lashana Gomes Cornelius with today's court roundup.
A 28-year-old man was today remanded to prison for the possession of almost 2 kilograms of cocaine and cannabis for the purpose of trafficking. The court heard Dinesh Dias, called Anil of Lot 26 to Mary East Bank, Demerara, pleaded guilty to having 1.8 kilograms of cocaine and 1.89 grams of cannabis in his possession for the purpose of trafficking on Tuesday, April 23, 2019. Dias was initially charged jointly with 43-year-old Sinarain Maturo, 31-year-old Anthony Collins, called Black Boy, and 48-year-old Mohammed Inshan. However, taking full responsibility and pleading guilty to the offense, the charges against Collins, Matura and Inshan were dropped and they were set free. The matter was heard before Magistrate Sunil Scares before the Providence Magistrates Court. On April 23, acting on information, Kanu officers in an ambush attack arrested 4 men at a house located at the Mary East Bank, Demerara, and discovered a fire extinguisher filled with 1.8 kilograms of cocaine. A further search, the ranks unearthed 1.89 grams of cannabis. Vouching his guilt and the innocence of his 3 friends, Dias told the court his friends had no knowledge of the drugs which were at his house. Dias was sentenced to 48 months imprisonment and fined $5.1 million for the cocaine charge and fined $15,000 for the cannabis charge, or face an additional 1 week imprisonment if he fails to pay the fine. Kanu said it is believed that a cocaine-filled fire extinguisher was expected to be placed on an aircraft at the Chedi Jagan International Airport and that it was destined to an international destination. In another matter, a 51-year-old man accused of having sexual intercourse with a 9-year-old girl and assault was convicted by a 12-member jury before the High Court. Genghis Khan, called Lynx, who was on trial for the crime, was handed the conviction by Justice Brisington Reynolds. The court was informed that Genghis Khan, between August 1 and August 31, 2008, sexually violated the child. Khan was also convicted for 3 counts of indecent assault on the very individual. Presenting the state's case were attorneys at law Sita Bishunyal and Lisa Cave, while attorney Ravindra Mohabir represented Genghis Khan. Khan was remanded to prison and will return to court for sentencing and probation report on May 14, 2019. The court heard that Khan was known to the child. Informing her parents of what Khan had done to her, the girl's parents had the matter reported to the police. Finally, 33-year-old Guyanese Troy Thomas, formerly of 156 Street in Jamaica, Queens, was extradited to the United States from Guyana following 7 years on the run for the murder of a 24-year-old man, also of Queens, back in December of 2011. Thomas was arraigned before the Queen's Supreme Court Justice Kenneth C. Holter on an indictment charged with second-degree murder of Keith Frank. Thomas was remanded to prison and is scheduled to make his next court appearance on June 13, 2019. According to the Queen's District Attorney Richard Brown, if convicted, the defendant faces up to 25 years to life in prison. The court heard that Thomas back in December 2011 murdered 20-year-old Keith Frank in cold blood outside a house party. According to the charges, the defendant became involved in a petty dispute with Frank. The 20-year-old victim was just blocks away from his home when Thomas allegedly shot him in the chest. The young man, who had just become a father 8 months prior, was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. The defendant fled New York City but was tracked down and found living in Guyana, where he fought extradition. Reporting for MTV's Court Roundup, Lashona Gomes, Cornelius.
Here is Rajesh Lakan with your weekly entertainment guide.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of MTV News Update Entertainment Guide. In observance of International Dance Day, the National Dance Company presents a special show on Monday, April 29 at the National Cultural Center.
Monday is International Dance Day, Monday the 29th. And that culminates our activities for observance of International Dance Day celebrations. Monday, there's a production at National Cultural Center beginning at 7 p.m. Absolutely free. All the dance groups who are participating will be given books with tickets. And Cultural Center will also you just have to collect your ticket to go, come, sit down, and see all the dance groups that Guyana has to offer that are interested or carve the time and can come to be there.
Great. What can patrons expect at this event?
A wide variety of dance forms and dance styles. So whether you know one or you don't know the other. And also for me, especially if you're new to dance, you get an idea of the variety that you can get in dance.
And after a 6-year hiatus, a much anticipated GTT singing competition kickstart today with their first audition at Duke Lodge. I'm here with a representative, Crystal, who will give us much more detail on this competition. Go ahead.
Okay, so today is our first audition in Georgetown. Tomorrow we will do another set of auditions. We only have 2 auditions in Georgetown. After that, we're heading to Berbice, then we're going to go to Linden, and we're going to we're going to end our audition in Essequibo. So those other auditions is just one day. So you must come out on that day because we're not going to give you 2 days.
Great. Tell us a bit on the criteria.
Okay, so not much for criteria. You must be Guyanese. We have an age limit. Once you're 16 to 18, you must have your parent or your guardian come with you. If you're over 18, you just apply online. You're good from there.
And is it open to all genre of music?
Yes, it is open to all genre of music. You just come with your song, be prepared, and just wow the judges, wow the audience.
Great. Any period for this audition?
Okay, so audition starts today and we're gonna end on May 18. So, like I said, we're gonna end our auditions in Essequibo, so that will end on May 18. After that, we choose our top 80 contestants, and then we're going to go straight into the preliminary rounds.
And they also spoke with a few of the contestants before the audition, and they all expressed confidence that they will make it into the competition.
Tere bin, tere bin, tere bin, tere bin, tere bina marna nahi, jeena nahi tere bin.
But it's a lot of songs I will got for this competition. But right now, this girl just give me blow. Oh, and she acting like everything cool. Because she take me for a damn fool. Because she doing it. Yo, Monday morning when I go to work, this girl don't press me shirt. She got me all at just a hurt. And she just a flirt.
Left, right, left, left, right, left. Soldier for Christ, got a load guy in my steps. And I give my life to Christ and I got no regrets. Died on the cross and I cannot forget. Every day me look, me see the youth gone astray. So me gotta hope, me got to fast and pray. Praying that tomorrow will be a better day. Me say focus on Christ and don't go astray.
I usually go around American pop.
Go ahead, give us a sample of that song.
Well, it goes something like this. Da, 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 dum. The smell of your skin lingers on me now. You're probably on your flight back to your hometown.
And we leave you with clips of the recently held Yardi Fete last Saturday at the National Stadium that featured Jamaican dancehall artist Alkaline along with Farmer Nappy.
Coming up after the break, MTV's Sports Update and more. Stay with us.
Country Boy and Family Promotion presents Parika Karen Bike Show 2019 on Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center with over 30 vehicle categories and Journeyman and Bradley Ivelaw on stage. Entertainment by Sliggers Family, TRS, Stereosonic, Foreign Link, and 721 Sound. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show Saturday, April 27th at the Parika Salem Community Center grounds. Sponsored by Mangal & Sons Lumberyard, Ruben Sawmill, Superman Sons Sawmill, Neville & Sons Furniture Store, Excess Bar and Lawn, Slingers 101.1 FM, Platin Battery, distributed by Kirby Motor Spears, and Stack, a man spear. The annual Parika Karen Bike Show. Run your system, not your mouth.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Are you building or renovating? Then Gaffers is the place to shop for all your construction needs. Our flat pack department has a wide range of doors, including wooden doors in pine, purple heart, crabwood, bifold, arch, full and half French, fiberglass garage doors, and Mexan steel doors. Our Mexan doors are durable and they're available in a wide range of designs. For safety, our doors include 12 locks, viewers, buzzers, and frames. For your kitchen, we have a wide range of elegant and durable quartz, granite and laminated countertops, and cabinet doors. You'll find laminated, bamboo, and PVC flooring to suit your style and decor while upgrading the entire look and feel of any room. Then choose from our wide selection of PVC ceiling panels, ceiling tiles, moldings, and rosettes. Also available in our flat pack department is sheeting for interior and exterior use, such as plywood, gypsum board, cement board, and MDF board. So come on down to Gaffur's flat pack department for your construction and finishing needs, and Miss Campbell will assist you to select products for your total satisfaction. Gaffur's, the name you can trust.
You can be a millionaire by only spending $100 on a Daily Million ticket. Simply pick any 5 numbers from 1 to 26, or you can buy a quick pick for your chance to win the Daily Millions. Purchase your tickets daily, Monday through Saturday, to get a chance to win $1 million every day. So, feeling lucky? Then buy a Daily Millions ticket today. Remember, a ticket today could make you rich today.
Ultra Lubricants, the leading lubricants for tropical conditions, has been serving you for over 40 years, extending the life cycle of your vehicle's engine by protecting it from wear and corrosion, removes impurities, and reducing frequent vehicle oil changes. Ultra Lubricants is for every market, from two-wheel light vehicle to trucks, construction, agriculture equipment, mining activities, and boating. Ultra Lubricants, world-class lubricants for tropical conditions. Distributed by Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., and available nationwide.
Welcome to MTV's Sports Update. Cricket West Indies conducted a player draft for the 2019-2020 Professional Cricket League season early today at the corporate headquarters in Antigua.
Former Windies under-19 and Guyana Jaguars batsman Bhaskar Yadram was drafted as one of the 2 overseas players by the Windward Islands. The 19-year-old played 2 first-class matches for the Jaguars in the 2017-2018 season and had secured a top score of 25. Sherfane Rutherford, who played a lone T20 international for the Windies in 2018, has opted out of a contract and will operate on a pay-for-play basis. The Guyana Jaguars retained Anthony Bramble, Romario Shepherd, Veerasamy Parmal, Leon Johnson, Vishal Singh, Raymond Reefer, Clinton Pistano, Chander Paul and Devendra Bishu. Drafted players for the Jaguars were Christopher Barnwell, Gudakesh Moti, Keon Joseph, Ramal Lewis and Tevin Imlak. The draft catered for 114 professional cricketers, and it was disclosed that the Super 50 will be played this November, followed by the 4-day championship commencing a month later. Chelsea Griffith, reporter for MTV Sports Update.
The Mumbai Indians added one more win to their already impressive record against the Chennai Super Kings after they registered a 46-run win at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium earlier today. Mumbai Indians' win was their second over CSK in Vivo IPL 2019 and took them to second in the standings. It also ended CSK's 7-match winning streak at their home ground.
Mumbai Indians posted a modest 155 for 4, riding on the back of captain Rohit Sharma's well-compiled 67. In the second half of the match, the Mumbai Indians spinner strangled the home team batsman before Lasith Malinga polished off the middle and lower order. In the evening, Mumbai Indians were put into bat by CSK's stand-in skipper Suresh Raina. After Quinton de Kock's cameo of 15 from 9 balls, Rohit Sharma and Evan Lewis took them to 45 for 1 at the end of the power play. In the next 11 overs, the visitors added 77 runs for the loss of 3 wickets, while Hardik Pandya and Kieron Pollard added 33 runs in the final 3 overs, 17 of those runs coming off the final over bowled by Dwayne Bravo. The second wicket partnership of 75 between Rohit and Lewis was the highest partnership in the entire match. The Super Kings never got going in their run chase. The home team batsmen struggled to cope with the slow surface and perished one after another, attempting to play the aggressive strokes. Except opener Murali Vijay, who made 38 on his return to the team. None of the other batsmen in CSK's top 6 got into double digits. The hosts were reduced to 60 for 5 at the halfway stage and lost their remaining 5 wickets for 43 runs. The Super Kings were bowled out for 109 in 17.4 overs. For the Mumbai Indians, the wickets were shared between Malinga, the Pandya brothers, Jasprit Bumrah and debutant Anukul Roy. Mumbai Indians' spin trio was miserable and returned combined figures of 9-0 and 39 for 3. The 45th match of the 2019 IPL will see the Sunrisers Hyderabad taking on the Rajasthan Royals from 10 hours 30 tomorrow. Chelsea Griffith, reporter for MTV Sports Update.
ESPN Cricket Info is reporting that Hales, who was named in England's provisional 15-man World Cup squad last week, is understood to have tested positive for a recreational drug in recent weeks. The England selectors are not thought to have known about the test result at this time the squad was announced. According to a report in The Guardian, he is currently serving a 21-day ban after returning a second positive test, having pulled out of Nottinghamshire's Royal London Cup campaign shortly after the World Cup squad was announced for undisclosed personal reasons. The drug's violation is understood to have been detected after Hales underwent a routine hair follicle test, which all professional men's cricketers and centrally contracted women's players undergo at the start and finish of every season. The policy was introduced in 2013 in the wake of the death of Surrey's Tom Manyard and can detect banned substances in the system for up to 3 months. Guyana's Boxing Association is moving swiftly with the preparations for the international cards this year, with Cuban boxing coach Francisco Hernandez Roland on board to assist local boxers with their performance on the international stage.
Roland, in his second stint here, will be responsible for overseeing boxers that represented Guyana at the Commonwealth Games, World Championships, South American Youth Games, Pan Am qualifiers and the Goodwill tournament that was hosted here. Last Sunday evening, the Under-16 and Juniors Boxing Championships at the National Gymnasium was used to prepare the young pugilists for Caribbean Schoolboys and Junior Championships set for Guyana from August 16 to August 18. President of the Guyana Boxing Association, Steve Linval, explained that the championships are very important for Guyana's preparations for the Caribbean Championships. The next National Schoolboys Juniors is set for May 8, while the Andrew Sixheads Lewis National Novices Championship is scheduled for the last Friday, Saturday and Sunday in May. Chelsea Griffith, reporter for MTV Sport Update.
Vice President Hansraj Singh said all systems are in place for the second round of the Ghana Motor Racing and Sports Clubs Endurance Series set to speed off on Sunday at the South Dakota Circuit.
The event will see over 40 entrants expected to take to the track to see who can complete the most laps during the grueling 3-hour-long race. Following round 1, 2018 overall champion driver Team Ramchand's Wreckers Adrian Fernandez narrowly defeated Sean Backus for the 1600cc and overall win after Backus's machine gave in during the final 3 minutes of the 2-hour-long drive. Action is set to speed off from 9 hours on Sunday at the South Dakota Circuit. Chelsea Griffith, reporter for MTV Sport Update.
The Luzignan Golf Club is all set to host the inaugural Astoria General Insurance Company's golf tournament, which tees off tomorrow on the green of the club.
The golf course has finally been getting some desperately needed rain. Astoria Insurance Company's General Manager Yogendra Arjun handed over a check of an undisclosed amount to President of the LGC Alim Hussain for the tournament tomorrow. The tournament is set to feature 3 categories, 0 to 9, 10 to 19 and 21 to 28, with prizes for the best gross, best net, longest drive and nearest to the pin. Astoria began operations in Guyana in 2012 and has rapidly grown to be a dominant participant over the years. Action is set to tee off from 12 hours 30 at the Luzignan Golf Club tomorrow, April 27. Chelsea Griffith, reporter for MTV Sport Update.
More news after the break. Stay with us.
Ultra Lubricants, the leading lubricants for tropical conditions, has been serving you for over 40 years, extending the life cycle of your vehicle's engine by protecting it from wear and corrosion, removes impurities, and reducing frequent vehicle oil changes. Ultra Lubricants is for every market, from two-wheel light vehicle to trucks, construction, agriculture equipment, mining activities, and boating. Ultra Lubricants, world-class lubricants for tropical conditions. Distributed by Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., and available nationwide.
Welcome back. You're still with MTV's News Update. Now for some news in the region. At least 21 Venezuelan migrants are missing after a boat they were traveling in capsized on its way to the island of Trinidad and Tobago. The boat set sail on Tuesday evening but hit choppy waters on its 70 kilometers journey into the Caribbean nation. 4 people were rescued in a joint effort by both countries' coast guards. Since 2014, 3 million Venezuelans have left their country, which have descended into an economic and political crisis. The doomed vessel named Jornal Jos is reported to have been carrying at least 25 people from Juria, a port on the northeast coast of Venezuela, although exact passenger numbers remain unclear. On the international scene, Sri Lanka's Prime Minister has told the BBC he was out of the loop when it came to intelligence warnings ahead of the deadly Easter Sunday bombings. Ranil Wickremesinghe said that crucial information about any potential danger in the country was not passed to him. The subsequent attacks, which claim at least 250 lives, expose a massive intelligence failure by Sri Lanka. The country's police chief and top defense ministry official have both resigned over the bombings. But Mr. Wickremesinghe argued the fact that he was unaware of the warnings meant he did not need to step down from his position. The apparent lapse in the communication has refocused attention on infighting between the country's 2 most powerful men. Relations deteriorated to such an extent that last October, Mr. Sirisena sacked Mr. Wickremesinghe. He was also reinstated in December following rulings by Sri Lanka's highest courts. And that has brought us to the end of regional and international news. Now let's take a look at the Ghana Stock Exchange closing prices for trading session 822. Let's turn our attention now to the Denver Harbor Bridge and the Berbice River Bridge schedules. And that's a wrap on today's broadcast. Before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. Embattled Telecommunications Minister dodges questions about how her company reportedly received millions of dollars in government contracts. Opposition leaders scolds government of poor management of CGI expansion project. 29-year-old man battling for his life after being stabbed multiple times. And in sport, irresistible Mumbai completed double against Super Kings. Qatar rebroadcast at 22 hours today and at 6 hours 30 tomorrow. On behalf of our news and technical teams, I'm Sandy Ramutar. Thanking you for watching. Have a good